Welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast. I'm your host, Luke Lorick with Tailgating Challenge. I love all things tailgating, and if you're here, you probably do too. In today's episode, we chat with Lee with the Tailgate Party Committee. We learn how he turned his counseling profession into a profitable tailgate venture where he tours the country and hosts amazing fans in very unique ways with giving away products, inflatable houses, giant LED TVs, and even custom games that he does specifically at his tailgates. You have to listen to see exactly how he does his tailgating parties.
Gather round tailgaters, hear the call, it's game day, y'all. Let's have a ball across the states from college to NFL. Tailgate Connect's got a story to tell.
All right, welcome back to the Tailgate Connect podcast. I'm here with Lee with the Tailgate Party Committee. Lee, what's up, sir?
I'm Luke. How you guys doing?
Man, we're doing good. We're doing good. Anytime we get to talk tailgating, we're doing pretty dang good. So,
Definitely.
so Lee, the first thing I want to open us up with, because I mean, I know a little bit about you and what you've been doing with Tailgate Party Committee, but we want to share that with our followers and fans today.
All
So
right.
tell us, how did you get passionate about tailgating in general? Where does the love come from?
Well, the love came from just the love of the sport for one. Football. Who doesn't
Sure.
love football? You know what I mean? So, long story short, I was living in South Florida, Fort Lauderdale to be exact, and they don't really do too much tailgating as we do in the traditional South. You know what I mean? As far as Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee,
Right.
South Carolina area. So, I'm asking the locals like every weekend, like, you guys are tailgating this weekend? They're like, nah, man, we have South Beach in our backyard. So I'm like, okay, touche. Okay, all right, that's cool. So I promised myself when I moved back to Atlanta, I was going to go tailgate every game, like every Falcon game, every SEC game, every whatever came through Atlanta market. And just so happens that same year, I call it a blessing and I call it luck at the same time. When people say, how is it a blessing and luck? I say, well, I moved back to Atlanta the same year the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. The whole 28-3, long story short about that. But
Right.
that same year, I was starting out tailgating and I was just telling people, like, just bring something, like a potluck, just bring something, bring something. I'm tailgating, I have the music, I have the coolers and all that kind of stuff. And then as we started to win through the season, it started, get bigger and bigger. So I was like, you know what? I could probably turn this into a profit. Just bring like $20 and I'll do everything. So by the NFC championship, it turned into just without a stratosphere, it just went crazy. So long story short, again, I end up going home counting like 30 grand from tailgating
Okay.
just by saying, hey, I'll do it. You guys don't have to bring anything. It's so convenient for you just to show up, pay your couple of dollars or whatever. And I had over like 300 or 400 people at this one tailgate. Of course, we know the end result we had with the Falcons that year. But the very next year, we get to Ben Stadium.
Right.
First game is Alabama, Florida State. End of the year, Georgia and Bama in the national championship, which was the first time ever two conference teams played in the national championship. So all this was going on. I'm like, you know what? Let me figure out how can I capitalize off this on a major level. Obviously, I had the name already. So I was like, okay, what's next? Next year, Super Bowl's in Miami, then it goes to Tampa. So that whole little trifecta as far as the Southeast region, and then the national championship followed the same little wave, right? I was like, you know what? I can probably capitalize off of this just by doing tailgatings in my area for one. And I started to venture off when my team started to lose because people wasn't showing up anymore. So you know how that goes, fair weather fans. I just got on the road with it, man. I went on the road, traveled to Dallas at one point. That was the furthest I've ever been. They showed me so much love out in Texas. Everything's big in Texas, but they never seen my setup before. So at that time, I was known for the huge inflatable house or building I had at first. It was a huge white inflatable building. I purchased wasn't T-Boo, I think it was like Alibaba or something. And nobody ever seen this inflatable structure before. So it was kind of like one of those attractions when you see it in the parking lot, like, what is that? Who are they? So that brought a lot of attention. Come to find out that inflatable wasn't wind rated right. I bought it in China. It wasn't wind rated right. So any little gust of wind, any little drop of rain, it would just, start, one of those guys. So I ended up purchasing an inflatable house from a local rental company. And the owner was like, "You the only one that rent these damn things. It looks like a bouncy house for kids, but it's not. It's totally like ground on the
Right.
bottom. It's no bouncy." Anywho, I use it as my bar structure, and I just built around it. And I put TVs in front of it. The inside, you walk inside the inflatable house, it's a bar and all that kind of stuff, and the TV set up front, DJ booths to the side. So that brought a lot of attention as well. I got on the road with it, traveled all over the country. I pretty much did every Super Bowl you could think of except for California. Haven't been to San Fran or LA. So I've done Phoenix, I've done Vegas, Miami, Tampa, New Orleans, obviously Atlanta. So I've been all over the globe a little bit, or the state of the country a little bit. Just hosting tailgate parties and then end up eventually linking up with a bunch of fan club members. That's what pretty much skyrocketed my business, meeting up with different fan clubs. They say America's team, the Cowboys, but
Are they
I,
still America's team? I got to interrupt you right there. Or is that
I,
shifting?
I know they're, as far as the fan base goes, man, they're everywhere. They're like cockroaches. They're everywhere, man. I mean, I've been on cruises. I've been out of the country. It's a Cowboy fan there. I'm like, what are you doing here? We're America's team. We're everywhere. So they show up in the herds. They're pretty good, cool group of people. I mean, outside them losing every game, but they,
Wow.
they they show up pretty big. So as far as my following on NFL standpoint, I would have to give it to those guys. Have to give it to the 49ers crew, my Ravens crew, my Bills Mafia. They're crazy, crazy. Um, what's so sad is my Atlanta Falcons is my weakest fan base, believe it or not, outside of what I do. And then of course with college, Georgia, Bama, and that's pretty much it. I inherited a couple of teams that came through, as far as the Peach Bowl is concerned. Indiana, um, Oregon, they're pretty cool. But other than that, that's pretty much where I stand as far as my tailgate business goes. And I just take a page out of every kind of book you can think of, from the nightlife to the hotel hospitality to the entertainment and obviously the sports world. I pretty much combine it into one and just create what you have as Tailgate Party Committee. And then I reach out to different vendors, different sponsors. Monster Beast is one of our sponsors. We have Michelob. Have a couple little brand sponsors. They're pretty good with us. I don't know if you heard of Big Sip. Big Sip is kind of like Buzzball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they're one of our sponsors. We have a pretty decent lineup as far as the tailgate beverages go.
Okay.
Um, I'm going on 10 years next year, and ironically, the 10th year that I'm celebrating my business, the Super Bowl's back in Atlanta, 2028,
Oh, sweet.
2027 season, but 2028 the year.
Sure.
So it's going full circle for me, man. So I'm pretty thankful and blessed on what I got going on. Haven't had any hiccups other than obviously COVID, but what's so ironic about COVID is people were saying, the phrase "we outside."
Right.
We've been outside. We've been like 6 feet distancing at that time. So COVID kind of was a is what it was. COVID was what it is, but it kind of saved my business a little bit because you couldn't go into the stadiums at the time,
Right.
due to capacity and stuff like that. So it did that year that Tom Brady won the Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. The first team to host the Super Bowl and win one. I did that Super Bowl as well. That was like pre-COVID or kind of like around that time. So I've been around the block a little bit, for the past 10 years, doing uh pretty outstanding tailgates. Like I said, Georgia won the national championship, beat Alabama that year. Over 30 years of trying. So I experienced that tailgate. Like I mentioned in Vegas, I was tailgating out there. Vegas first time having a Super Bowl. So I experienced that one. So when it comes to first, I've been around for a little while to experience first, you know what I mean? So now I'm just ready to get with the big boys now and, get with you guys and figure out how can I take it to another level.
Man, it sounds like you're already doing some pretty amazing things. You like the next question I have. You alluded to some of this, but I always like to ask, like, what do you believe makes your tailgate amazing? What makes it special and unique? You mentioned like the inflatable house, but is there other things that if someone comes to visit your tailgate and gets a ticket through tailgateconnect.com that they could experience or look forward to?
I think it's just the authenticity, man. I mean, it's like it's like a family reunion of fans, you know. Even if I never met you before, it's always that one lone cousin you never saw before, you know. So it's kind of like that vibe that we give out. Everybody's welcome. You know, I control the music, so we're playing everything from Luke Bryan to Lil Jon, you know. So everybody gets a chance to hear whatever they like to hear. Um, I have a wonderful DJ E-Rock. I mean, he's the voice of what I do. He's a big old black dude from South Florida, so he's twerking and stuff. So you can imagine a big old black dude, like a big teddy bear, and he's out there dancing and twerking. He has this radio voice, man. It's incredible. So with him in the mix, and then like I said, involving the just everybody's culture. I think that's what makes us who we are. Alongside the game is going to be the game. You know, we can't control the game. Well, you know the saying, "We won the party. You guys about to win the game. We won the party." So that's pretty much us. We win the party everywhere we go. You know, I tell people all the time that set up in our different little lots. I say, "Hey, man, we're tailgating over here. We got a big group coming. You might want to shut yours down and join us." Of course, they're gonna say, "Oh no, we're good, man. You know, we just got a private little group." Until we bring out the huge LED screen, video wall, and the sounds turned up, and they're like, "You didn't tell us you had an inflatable house."
Yeah.
So that brings them over like, "Well, we're gonna join you guys then. You guys got it going on, man." So it's pretty much word of mouth. That's really how it really started. I mean, like I said, with the games, the high profile games helped me out, and then traveling on the road, um, just reaching out different fan bases, not just being biased and sticking with my Georgia or the Falcons.
Sure.
Even though my colors are black and white, so I'm pretty much like the referee of tailgating. You know what I mean? My colors are pretty much black and white, man. So I cater to everything there is.
Yeah, no, I mean, that leads right into the next question where it's like, sometimes people are thinking they want to come to a tailgate. Maybe they're traveling in for a game and don't want to bring all their gear and they're looking for that easy button tailgating solution. But they're like, oh my gosh, like this is a rivalry game. We're the opposite fans.
Yeah.
How are we going to be treated if we go to your tailgate? If they're the opposite, maybe we're the opposite colors of what most of your tailgate is, if that makes sense.
Both Peach Bowl was this year. It was an Indy and I want to say Oregon, right? In the Peach Bowl, going to the Natty.
Yep.
I tell all the fans, I say, "Hey, whichever fan base comes out the biggest, the strongest, they win the music, they win the tailgate." So I got to really cater to that following. You know, of course, like I said, we're not too biased, and we don't try to lean on them too hard when they're getting whooped on the scoreboard. You know, because our DJ can, they're losing by 20 or whatever. So we kind of be a little modest with that, and not pour too much salt on the wound. But if your fan base shows up, in the herds, man, we got to cater to whatever the public wants. You know, the public wants the Ducks, so they want the Hoosiers or whatever. We got to cater to those guys. So that's pretty much how our tailgates go. If it's neutral, then it's definitely a house divided. So which is
Sure.
also fun because it's not always fun just having one dominant fan base because if that fan base is lose, then it's like crickets. You know, it's like, oh man, we're losing and other teams winning
Right.
and nobody's here to really celebrate the other side. So I like to kind of keep it neutral always, or at least half and half.
Sure. So, am I hearing correctly? Like, because there's a lot of tailgates they shut down like before the game starts. Is yours?
Mhm.
Does yours continue like through the game? People can sit there and watch the game while they keep on tailgating.
So when I started this business, I didn't know nothing about it. It was kind of one of those little taboo things. At first, when I Googled tailgate parties, and then the business side of it, it was kind of frowned upon to charge somebody to come to a tailgate. It's pretty much like, hey, you got your truck, got your cooler, let's bring it together. But when business strikes, you got to put your business hat on sometimes and kind of say, hey, we sell experience, we sell conveniency. You know what I mean? So to answer your question, it's kind of like let us do this stuff for you without having to you do it yourself. We're convenient. We're convenient. We sell experience. If you guys decide that you want to bring your own beverages or whatever, that's fine with us too. We're not against that. So what sets us aside from other tailgates is, like I said before, we sell the experience. We start 3 hours before kickoff, as
Mhm.
far as our all inclusive, and
Sure.
then obviously the game is on. We do a whole little halftime little shindigs with our DJ. We do different things for as customer engagements. We giving away stuff, raffling off things, all kind of stuff is going on during commercial break and during halftime. After the game, you got to think: do I want to be stuck in traffic for 2 hours,
Nope.
or let the party keep going for at least a good hour, an hour and a half, and just whoever wins who won the tailgate, they win the game at the same time. That's just put it all together. Keep it going for a good hour and a half after the game. So that's normally where our tailgate separates from everybody else. They call it the watch party. I don't. I call it the tailgate party because we're doing everything there is as far as tailgating, and the game's just on TV. Obviously we can't charge you to watch something that's free on television.
Right.
So we pretty much don't even add in the watch party stuff. We just say it's a tailgate party. The duration of our time is from, if it's a 1 o'clock game, it's from 9 to 5 or 4 or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
If it's a late game, then the time to adjust. So that's the difference between us and everybody else.
Now, I mean, I personally love that because it's like, I'll be honest, I've been that guy where it's like,
Mhm.
oh man, like I'm traveling. I just love the tailgating environment. And maybe I don't care as much about what happens in the game, but I still kind of want to watch it, but I don't want to spend like $500 to go into the game or something like
Yeah.
that. And so
And
being able to sit
the
at
good
a tailgate still with good people is amazing.
part about it is I know some people love to hear the commentators on TV. We actually show and you can hear the game. Of course, like I said, we took a little bit of from everybody industry, entertainment, the music, the club, the nightlife, all this kind of stuff, and merged it with us. So once commercial comes on, we're already kind of doing stuff. Kind of like if you're at
Sure.
the game, you don't know what's going on TV. Obviously, there's like 20 commercial ads running on TV.
Right.
We're kind of equivalent to that. During commercial, we're doing all these different giveaways. We might have your company on the screen that we have on an LED wall showing different whatever it is, ads or whatever, and getting everybody involved. Kind of like the whole kiss cam. We do a kiss cam. We do a who's who, where you're from, who traveled the furthest, all this kind of stuff. Getting everybody excited. Even though your team might lose, you might still go home with the prize. You know what I mean? So that's what we pretty much do.
All right, I got a kiss cam at a tailgate is something
Yeah.
I've never heard of before.
Yeah.
Have you had a moment where you've done the kiss cam and it was an awkward moment for the people involved because maybe like, ugh, one of those type deals?
Ours is not the kiss cam. I forgot what we call it. It's something kind of like a kiss cam. It's more like a high five cam. It's something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's something like that. But it's having awkward moments where it's like, uh, give a high five or some dap to the person next to you, whatever. It might be like, for us, we hate the Saints. The Falcons hate the Saints.
Right.
So if you're next to an Aints fan and it's like give an Aints fan a hug, it's like hell no. No, we're good on that. We're not doing that. I'll give you a fist pump or something, a pound, but I'm not giving you a hug. So it's been awkward moments like that. Um, yeah. We have a lot going on, man. We try to incorporate a lot of different stuff to make it fun. Like I said, we still experience. So just try to figure it out as we go. And then the next event might be different from the last. Depends on who we play. If we're playing a East Coast team, let's just say Baltimore, we kind of cater to their what they like. They like crab cakes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Kind of cater to them. We're dealing with a team out west. Let's just say a Raiders group. Obviously, they like tacos and stuff like that out west. Burritos and whatever else they like. And then, of course, in the South, we love our barbecue and our briskets and all that good stuff. So we do all that as well to, like I said, cater to our different crowd fan bases and make everybody feel welcome in their home, even if it's down to the local craft beers or whatever they drink up north and IPAs or whatever. We try to balance it out, make sure everybody getting what they like, what they pay for.
Nice. What would you say, in your opinion, what's the coolest giveaway you've ever done at a tailgate?
Ooh, so we personally didn't give it away, but one of our sponsors, my first big sponsor was a real estate company called Meritage Homes.
Okay.
They gave away Super Bowl tickets.
Ooh,
Yeah, we had
that's fun to do.
they had 400 employees that came to our tailgate. They had their own section. We had the general public, and then they was like, "Hey, we're giving away tickets to the Super Bowl." I forgot how they raffled it off. I want to say it was to everybody or maybe to their employees, but they gave away 2 Super Bowl tickets. I want to say 2 or 4. Yeah, that was probably the biggest. But as far as us, we're giving away a TV,
Right.
pretty nice size little 55-inch TV. One of those Black Friday deals. You get one early in the morning for like $50,
Right.
and you give it away. So done some things. I've been trying to do a cruise after every Super Bowl to kind of like give back to like our biggest follower. It
Okay.
hasn't worked out in my favor because when I tried to do it, that's when COVID hit.
Oh yeah.
And I tried to do it again. That's when some kind of virus hit on the cruise ship. I was like, every time I try to give away something, always something ain't happening. So maybe I got to come up with another plan.
Hey, you
You know?
can't go wrong with you can't go wrong with Super Bowl tickets. So go ahead.
Oh man, what's so crazy is I've probably been to maybe out of what 30, what I think 32 was about 20 some 28 teams, 28 stadiums or whatever. I might have been to half of them and only been inside maybe two of the stadiums.
Sure.
I'm always outside, you know.
Trust me,
It's crazy.
I fully get it because again, I'm all about that tail. If I'm traveling, I want to do everything as much as I
Yeah,
can with tailgating and the culture and
yeah.
meeting people and experiencing everything. And if I don't make it into the game, I don't make it into the game.
Never been inside, man. I'm like, man, here's the stadium in Vegas. I'm like, yep, won't get a chance to go in there. Go down to the Super Bowl, Superdome in New Orleans. Never been inside there. Go to Dallas, AT&T. Never been inside Jerry's World. Go to Indiana to Indianapolis. Never been inside there. I'm like, man, well, I'm at work anyway, so it's
Yeah.
all good.
I mean, if you can have tailgating as your professional career, there's a lot worse places you could be
Yeah.
spending your time.
Yeah, I mean, it's pros and cons with this being like my full-time gig. What people don't know, I was a high school counselor. I was a high school counselor, man, and I created this business at my desk. Like I said, moving back from Florida to Atlanta, I'm working
Nice.
on like how can I make the tailgate company what it was. I got a whole little portfolio of just stuff created that I think about how can I make it better? How can I do this and do that and the third? And like I said, it was a blessing and it was luck when the team started winning, people were showing up. I look at my paycheck, look at my tailgate check. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna make this a full-time gig, even though it's seasonal. But
Sure.
if you balance out your paychecks every now and then, you figure it out. You can make it work.
Now, have you ever had to use your counselor past at a tailgating event to help anyone?
Definitely, definitely. You know what? I'm not gonna wood. I've probably hosted maybe over a couple hundred tailgates, and I haven't had not one altercation. Believe
Beautiful.
it or not, and I've got a lot of people drunk, you know. But the thing about it, like I say, I've I've been in hospitality for a long time, as well. Worked at the hotels and stuff, so I know how to, look at people and kind of like, read them a little bit and their body language. And then we have security officers that, that's off-duty police officers. We have nurses on our team. So, when it comes to liquid IVs and stuff like that, we're really prepared to deal with any kind of situation at our tailgates. If a person is dehydrated, if they're too intoxicated, or if they bored, we got the fun patrol too. So, we got pretty much
You said
everything.
the fun patrol. Did I
The
hear
fun
that?
patrol, yeah.
What does the fun patrol do? Like, what's their role, or what have they had to do in the
I,
past?
I, I call them game day bay.
Okay.
Game day bay is some pretty eye candy that walks around and see if he wants you a shot or not. He wants you a shot. You look a little parched. Do you want a little shot? The little Jello shot or something like that.
Right.
That's the fun patrol. Men and
Okay.
women. It's not just women that comes around. It's men too. They're the fun patrol. So if you don't drink, we have other things that'll get you to the point where you can have a good time. Even if it's getting up and just doing a good little dance here or two.
Yeah.
So, we wanna make sure everybody's having a good time from old to young.
No doubt.
And our older crowd is probably the funnest crowd. So the younger people, they're like this all the time, the young
All the
crowd.
times. Yeah.
Yeah, so the old crowd, they're like, "Hey, that's my jam. I haven't heard that since I was in high school." I'm like, "Yeah, we got everything, every genre of music you can think of. We're gonna make sure you hear your favorite song, I guarantee you that."
So, speaking of which, like, is this a family friendly environment, like for
Definitely.
younger kids, or would you
Yeah.
say younger kids should not come?
I advise people. I've been times where people will email and say, "Hey, I got a 6-month-old." I'm like, First of all, why?" 6 months,
There you go.
but no judging here. My son went to the Braves game before, and he was pretty mad as hell when the sun was beaming on his head. He was like 6 months old, and it was hot. It was my first Father's Day game. I went to the Braves game, season opener or whatever, and it was excruciating hot. So I can understand
Yeah.
bringing your kid and not bringing your kid. But with the loud music and then just people mixing alcohol with fun, it can get a little rowdy, not rowdy to the point where you got to protect yourself, but just rowdy, just people having a good time. I don't want nobody to spill a beer on your child head, from doing the, from
That would be a
doing
party foul.
the, yeah, but I advise them all the time. I say the kids are welcome, but be mindful that you must, watch your child. We don't have babysitters that we don't have daycare. You know what I mean? Speaking of daycare, I thought about that too. I was like, I should have a area where we can do like a little daycare tailgate for people that have kids this age,
Kid
that age.
zone, the kids tailgating section over there.
Yeah, kind of like when you go on a cruise and they have the little Camp Ocean or whatever.
Yeah.
You got a little section you drop your kids off, and then adults go to the pool and to adult spa. I thought about that too, but the liability of that, I'm like, nah, I don't. That's too much to worry about. Kids in the kids area, but it is kid friendly. I do advise some of the parents. I said a couple songs might have some explicit lyrics, some of them, but 90% of them are all clean. It just some songs I just can't play the clean version. It doesn't come out right. So I advise them, and they know it's like, well, we cussed before too. So, but for the most part, it's pretty radio versions. Of all our music and content.
All right. What's one song that should never be edited?
I think back that ass up. I I mean, you can't edit that song, man. If you can find a good clean version, then touche, that's good. I salute you, but that's one song that you can't edit out. It's hard to edit out a lot of Lil Jon stuff, man. It gotta get people in the mood. And then some of my classic rock songs, they don't have too much profanity in them. I highly doubt any of them do, but I won't know it until I hear it.
Right.
I'm just like, I didn't know he said that in that song. So that's pretty much it. Other than that, that's the only song I think you can bleep out. You know.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me this. So obviously you're a big Falcons fan and a Georgia Bulldog fan. Is that
Mhm.
fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. So who would you outside of those fan bases, who do you feel is the most fun fan base that you've had the privilege to tailgate with?
To be honest, it's always the rival teams because there's so much history. Like if Georgia playing Bama, that's like the biggest family reunion ever.
Right.
Even though that big brother is always it's always going to be. We beat you guys last year. You guys don't have a national championship. You guys haven't been this, haven't did that. So it's always been those teams of Bama, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. I mean, SEC is like every weekend it's a rival. You know that. Every weekend
Oh
it's a
yeah.
rival game. So it's like whoever we're playing is a rival team. That's the best ones. Outside of that, um, I think that the Ravens are pretty fun.
Okay.
Shout out to my guy Brian Be more around town. Those guys are pretty fun up there, man. They travel everywhere. They do everything from baseball to concerts to hockey to everything. You know, 49ers, I inherited a 49er group last year. Those guys were pretty fun. They had the Texans and the 49ers in Houston last year. They were pretty fun. And they'll be here this year playing Atlanta. So looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm a Niners fan, so bang bang
yeah,
out there. I love it.
yeah. Those guys roll deep, man. So that was pretty fun last year in Texas. So between the 49ers and the Ravens, those were the most funnest ones, but it's some bougie ones out there. Like I said, those Cowboy groups are bougie, man. Those guys are
All
prima
right, so tell
donnas.
me, when you say bougie, I mean, is that like
They're
pinkies
just
up, wine and cheese, or what does bougie
it's
mean
like
to
it's like
tailgate?
it's like they have they're annoying. It's like you say the same stuff every year,
Yeah.
right? We're going to the Super Bowl, and then when you don't go, you have an explanation. Well, Jerry's calling the plays. Well, the quarterback, Dak Prescott, and then they're just blaming everybody in the world for their mistakes. And then next season, we're going to the Super Bowl. Well, you had the same staff you had last year. You might have switched out a receiver here and there, but you got the same team. And then it's just annoying. They're fun, but it's just annoying. I just get tired of hearing them. You know.
So, do you feel that the Cowboys will not go to the Super Bowl this year?
I'm not gonna say that because they pay very well. So gotta watch what I say too. Um, they have the opportunity. I mean, like I said, NFL, I think all 32 teams have the opportunity. I mean, who would have thought that the Bengals would have won one year? The Bengals?
Never know.
Never know. So I I mean, I think everybody knows the common denominator when it comes to the Cowboys. We know who's the problem. You know, we know who's the problem. So you haven't been since you fired my man Jimmy Jones, and then so Jimmy Johnson, excuse me, Jimmy Jones. But yeah, we know who the problem is.
Jimmy Johnson was pretty good for him.
Yeah, yeah, very good for him. So
All right, where's one place you haven't tailgated but you want to?
believe it or not, I would love to go to Old Lambeau. I would love to go to Buffalo. Um, and I mentioned these cold cities on purpose because I did the tailgate in Baltimore and it was freezing cold, but those guys were fun. Those guys, they was in the snow with their shirts off, bro. I mean, it was crazy. So, I'm thinking maybe I should try one of those games, but my spider sisters kick in sometimes. Like, nah, cold is not really that fun sometimes. I went to school in Nebraska, man. So me coming from Georgia to Nebraska, it's like when you see a whole river, whole lake frozen, and guys are ice fishing, that's a different type of cold.
That it definitely is. That
You
is
know
not
what
a
I mean?
Georgia cold.
Yeah. So if I do decide to go to Buffalo or what is it, Green Bay, it has to be in the spring or I mean in the early fall, summer, September.
If you go to a Buffalo game,
Mhm.
would you do the Bills Mafia table leap onto the folding table?
Ooh, man. I'm in my 40s now, man. It hits a little different now when you get a little older, just getting out of bed hurts. I can imagine jumping on a hard table. You know what? It depends on how many concoctions I have. I think I might.
Right. What's the over under? Like, what amount? Let me ask you this question first. I always ask this question. What is your favorite tailgating drink? If you're just chilling, you're not having to run, you're not worried about nothing, you just chilling, what's in your cup?
I'm gonna tell you this, and believe it or not, people think I do this on purpose. They think it's kind of like a little gag trip, but I drink the cheapest stuff you can find. Remember Mad Dog 2020,
Oh yeah.
MD
Indeed.
2020?
Oh yeah.
Coke 45s.
Oh yeah.
So what I've done, right? I've made me a Mad Dog margarita.
All
You
right.
know,
So you Mad Dog,
in your
extra
margarita
tequila.
mix. In your margarita mix, a little splash of tequila, maybe a
Okay.
shot or two. You shake it up. You got your Mad Dog margarita. You know,
And would you recommend that for the average tailgating connoisseur, or is this an acquired taste?
if you want to go to 0 to 60, yeah.
Real quick.
Yeah, real quick. And then if it depends on how cold it is outside. Now, I must say I do have my seasonal drinks. I'm a gin drinker, but I don't drink gin in the summertime. I
Okay.
drink it only during the winter. And when it comes to those Mad Dog margaritas, it's more of a summery, kind of warm temperature type of drink, because it's not one you just shoot like a shot. And gin, that's kind of a keep you warm and keep you nice and toasty type of drink. So the Mad Dog margarita is my go-to on the beach or at the house, barbecuing or whatever. It's one of those go-tos.
All right.
Now too many of them is the problem.
So how many Mad Dog margaritas in order to jump into a table at a Bills game would it take?
Mm. I don't know, probably maybe 4. Yeah, 4 Mad Dog margaritas, and then the right song come on. So it has to balance out. The right song come on, and I had 4 Mad Dog margaritas. I'm going through a wall.
All right, so you're in Buffalo, the table's out there, you have your
Mhm.
4th Mad Dog margarita in hand.
Yeah.
What song is coming on to trigger you to jump?
Ooh, man. I've been digging a lot of classic rock lately, believe it or not. And my playlist is if I see you my playlist, you'd be like, "You listen to that? Really?" Man, I mean, obviously you got your Bon Jovi. I mean, Living on a Prayer. You got I listen to a lot of soundtrack as well. Remember the old Karate Kid
Oh,
soundtracks?
yeah.
What was my guy name? Roger something. I forgot. You're the best around. Nothing's gonna. Yeah,
Oh,
those
yeah.
things get me amped up because it brings back my childhood.
Sure.
So those songs right there, man. Yeah, I'm going through the wall.
All right, so
I'm
you be
glad
on
though.
top of the table doing the Karate Kid move,
Yeah,
right? Then
in
jumping on.
the crank. Yeah, baby. Yeah, for sure.
Good stuff. All right, so you got your Mad Dog 2020 margarita in one hand. Other
Hmm.
hand, you got your plate for food. What kind of food's going on there?
You,
You ain't got to worry about price, cooking it,
you know
nothing.
what?
What you
So my,
taking?
my my team gets on me all the time because I never eat. Like, I'm just so busy just into the event, and I wear so many hats. You gotta think I'm the DJ too. Even though I have my DJ E-Rock, but he's the host, so I
Right.
need him to be out in the crowd, you know, touching and kissing babies and hugging and shaking hands. You know what I mean? So me and him have this little thing where he can look back or he can say a couple word phrases, and I know what to play. Right? it won't do him any justice if he's behind the DJ booth, and he has this wonderful personality. So he's out there, I'm behind the booth, so I'm playing the music at the same time. I still have to run a tailgate. So
Sure.
people's calling me and asking me, "Hey Lee, we're out of ice. We're doing this, we need this." I'm like, "Gee, that's why I have an event manager. Contact her." So I never eat. So I'm always doing multiple things. But I'm definitely gonna have a drink in my hand. But I just get caught up in the moment where they just have to make me eat, you know? So, yeah, I might have 2 Mad Dog margaritas in my hand.
No food, but 2 Mad Dog
Yeah,
margaritas is how
yeah,
you're
no
rolling.
no food, man. I'll eat till, like, the end of the tailgate.
And then what you eating?
It's burger, dog, sides, baked beans, potato salad, green beans, a couple rib tips. I'm pretty much going through it there. Yeah, I'm eating the whole plate before I get home, yeah. Yeah, I'm going in for
I
sure.
mean, again, a long tailgate necessitates some nutrients afterwards, right?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Especially if there's a good tailgate that was very successful. No rain, it wasn't too hot. Because that heat could beat you down out there, man. And then the rain just kind of brings you down. You're all soggy and wet. You just want to get home, and then the cold. That's another world. So my worst thing is I can deal with the cold, I can deal with the rain. I can't deal with the cold and the rain.
Okay.
That's a no go for me, man. So yeah.
All right. Well, tailgating games. What's your favorite one that you like to play?
I mean, you can't go wrong with cornhole. Um, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. I kinda like mixing things up a little bit. I do remember suicides in the gym? When you run to one end and you run to the other end?
You
So we
get,
c we
is that a game? Is that is that a
yeah,
tailgating game
yeah,
now?
so we don't call them suicides. I think we call them, uh, I got this stuff written down. I forgot the guys, but basically what it is, you have to run to one end of this little we might create a table or line or whatever. Run to one end, take a shot, and then your friend, your team your teammate has to run to the other end, take a shot. But we made them to have maybe like 4 or 5 shots lined up, but they're all different stuff. It's not all the same stuff. So you might get some water, you might get some milk, you might get some juice, you might get a 150, 51, whatever nasty. You might get an Everclear. You might get a beer. It's all different stuff. So yeah, that's a pretty fun game.
Because I remember suicides were kind of rough back in
Yeah,
when we were
yeah,
in the
that's
gym. If you're mixing
yeah.
in milk and alcohol and everything else, has anyone had a moment where they didn't feel so good
So the
afterwards?
so the thing about it, our suicides are short. So, but they don't know what's inside the shots. We tell them, say, "Hey, what's your favorite drink?" We're gonna put their favorite drink in there. You like dark, you like brown, right? Whatever, clear, whatever. Boom. You like tequila, you like vodka, you like rum. Okay, boom. So we got those in there, and we also got some other stuff in here too that you might not like. So that's the part that you don't like. Just like the suicides, but the suicides we do are short.
Okay.
You got a 6 foot, 8 foot table. That's nothing. But we take those shots, and you're just like, ew, that's Tabasco sauce. Yeah, my bad. You know.
Okay. Okay. So it's not as much running for distance as it is
Mhm.
just different
Yeah.
types of shots.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. So
Yeah.
it sounds like at your tailgate, there's a lot of music and there's going to be some
Oh
you
oh,
drink
yeah, the
concoctions.
dance off is always fun. The dance off, so we try to find at least 4 different types of people, right? You have your old, you have your young, you have your man, you have your woman.
Okay.
So with those 2, it could be a black person, white person, it could be a grandmama, it could be a auntie, it could be a teenager, it could be not a teenager, but a younger 21 and up person. So then you have Mr. Badass that thinks he can drink out everybody. You have those kind of guys. Yeah, I can drink. Yeah, let's party. Let's go. You have those guys, the super tailgaters. And sometimes they're probably already drunk before they get to the game. So they don't
Oh,
ever really make it when it comes to the dance off. But a lot of them are very impressive, especially the older cats. You kind of underestimate. Yeah, I think they've been around the block for a while. So they got a couple of dance moves they've been waiting to let loose. So we had one guy that when we went viral in Jacksonville, the Georgia Florida game, he went viral at least about 20, 30 million views. Yeah. We always do the swag and surf as one of our kind of like our themes before it got popular in the stadiums. We've been doing it. And this guy, he turned his own swagger surf on. Like he went full throttle with his, you know what I mean? And we didn't know he went viral until we got home. You know, everybody was like, you guys are, oh, such and such shared your post." And I'm like, "What post?" Someone else filmed it, and we were just, just doing our regular thing. And by the time we got home, it was like, "You guys are on YouTube, you guys are on this, you guys are on TikTok." I'm like, "What's a TikTok?" This was like before TikTok was TikTok. I'm like, what's a
Right.
TikTok? So that was crazy. The sad part about it was we had no logo, no banner. We had nothing up. So when you see the video, of course you see DJ E-Rock
Right.
because he's in the middle, controlling the crowd. I'm at the DJ booth playing the music.
Sure.
So I had the whole clip. So when you see it, you can be like, "Oh, you guys didn't even capitalize off of that. 30 million views. Nobody know who he was. We had to share it and tag ourselves in people's posts like, 'Oh, that's our video.'" Yeah, right. It's not you guys. Oh, well, that's DJ E-Rock, clearly. I mean, this is him right here, him right there. So that was one of those moments like, man, you can't never plan for going viral anyway.
Yep. Always be prepared so you don't have to get
That's
ready.
why everything I have on now, everywhere I go, it's definitely Tailgate Party Committee stuff for sure. I learned that lesson a long time ago.
Hey, I'm about to say it's not a L as a loss, it's a L as a lesson.
Definitely, definitely. I like that. I like
Yeah.
that.
All right. So tell us this season coming into 2026, what events do you have on deck? How many you got? What do people need to expect to get ready for, excited about Tailgate Park Committee?
I got my notes here. All right. So, um, believe it or not, I have no events in September. None.
How? How,
Uh,
how
I,
is
I,
that possible? That's prime
I mean,
time,
I,
isn't
I
it?
mean, I mean, like I said, I'm not biased when it comes to no teams, especially my home teams. I go off the high profile schedule. I look at the NFL. I look at the college schedule. I'm trying to figure out, okay, which are the high profile games that are in my region that are not back to back dates, that are not too far away I couldn't travel. Because I've done it before. I've had games back to back, and it wasn't so fun. At the end of the day. So what I did was the best schedule I came up with was what I have now. Our first game was in October the 5th.
Okay.
That's Cowboys and that's Texans in Houston.
Your
So
one of
I,
your
and I,
favorite teams, right?
fan bases. So I strategically picked certain locations for various reasons. Remember when I told you before when I first started tailgating, I looked at what's going on next year and the year after that. So Houston, as you know, the Super Bowl's come back to the Southeast region. It's been out west for a long time now. It's been to Vegas, it's been to San Fran, it's been to LA, and then back and forth. So next year's going to be here in Atlanta. Next season, well, LA then Atlanta,
Right.
and then so I'm like, okay, outside of NFL, the national championship bounces around as well. It might end up in Houston, Dallas, Miami, wherever. So if I end up building my relationships in these different cities, these different markets, then I'm pretty much, a household name far as, setting up in their region.
Sure.
I don't want to just come in the city and just, start a tailgate event without kind of like with the locals a little bit, sharing a little love and reaching out to the local vendors, different businesses and stuff like that. Even the parking. So the parking is our main thing. Once I find my real estate, which is the parking, once I build my relationships with those people, that's where the fun begins. Once I'm stapled and stamped in, okay, my tailgate is 1 block away or a half a mile or whatever. We're going to create this huge festival of goodness. That's where it all starts. Now I have to figure out, okay, what's the best game option? I mean, Dallas and it's an in-state game, Dallas and Houston, October 5th, right?
Yeah.
So the very next day or next week, I have Georgia Bama in Tuscaloosa. The very next day, literally October 11th, I have Ravens in Atlanta. The very next week, I have the Bears in Atlanta.
So you're going
The very
hard in
the very
October.
next week after that, 25th, I have the 49ers in Atlanta. The very next week after that, October 31st, I'm still in October. So the 5th, the 10th, the 11th, the 18th, the 25th, now Halloween night, Georgia, Florida is in Atlanta this year
Oh
because the
boy.
Jags will get a new stadium. So not only is it on Halloween, you have the Georgia, Florida game in Atlanta, right? Now, I have the 11th of November, the Cowboys and the 49ers
Oh boy.
in Dallas. So I had to ask myself because now I have a problem. I have the Chiefs and the Falcons the same day. Chiefs are not really a hot commodity anymore. It used to be when they was doing
I
their
mean, it
thing.
might be again this year. Mahomes will probably be back.
Yeah,
You never
but
know.
but
They could
but
turn up.
but but you gotta think. My biggest fan base is Dallas.
Right.
I just inherited the 49ers last year, and they're playing in Dallas.
Oh yeah. That
So,
could be a good one.
my I mean, Kansas City and the Falcons, you gotta think, I'm doing the Bears, the 49ers, and the Ravens at home. The Chiefs over the 49ers and the Cowboys?
Ah, we gotta go.
Nah, I
Gotta
gotta
go by
I gotta be
Niners and Cowboys.
crazy. Yeah. That's pending, but I highly doubt I do that. And then, um, I'm pretty much off until December 5th, SEC championship. The very next day, still in Atlanta, we have the Lions and the Falcons. So December 5th is SEC. December 6th is the Lions and Falcons. And then I'm off for pretty much Christmas break. Come back and we play the Aints January the 3rd. National championship, January 25th, and then the almighty Super Bowl's on Valentine's Day.
Oh man, I can't believe it's on Valentine's Day this coming year. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I haven't put in any bowl games or any playoff games, obviously, because we don't know who's playing who.
Right.
So those can be, added into the mix as
Yeah.
well. So yeah, so right now I've got about 16, 17 events. And out of those 16, 17, you gotta think the teams I just named is like boom, 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 boom. And it's high big profile teams, the Ravens, Cowboys, 49ers, Bears, Alabama, Georgia, Lions. Some big boys
Yeah,
I'm playing.
no doubt. No doubt.
Yeah. So, but yeah, September is just nothing, man. I'm just gonna be sitting back watching TV like everybody else.
And maybe you could travel around and just
Yeah.
hit some different tailgates for
So,
fun.
so I partnered with my good friend Scott at X Hospitality.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you know Scott. He's pretty good friend of mine. I might end up joining him with some stuff. We partnered up on a few events. I'm sorry, I'm in the lobby of my hotel if you hear some kids. Yeah, my house is getting renovated right now,
Okay.
so I'm pretty much homeless for 60 days. So I'm at the hotel in the lobby, not homeless, but not really homeless. But yeah, so Scott has a lot of events activated outside of my actual event, so I might end up doing some stuff. Maybe in you guys' neck of the woods, we might cross paths one day. I
Yeah,
don't
for
know.
sure.
So it all depends on what he has on his schedule. Also we're doing the World Cup as well. So starting
Oh,
on the I think it's the 15th, every 3 days, the 15th, 18th, then the 24th, 27th, and then up to I think like the 11th, which is like the semifinals. I know nothing about soccer. Nothing. Our own Atlanta United team, I haven't been to not one game. We got that team a couple of years ago. We won the championship like the third year we had them. I still know nothing about the soccer team, the soccer world at all. So FIFA being here, I'm like, I don't know what to do. you
I
know?
mean, tailgate, right? Again, World Cup. I'm not a huge soccer guy, but it's
Yeah,
not
me
lost on
neither.
me that this is like a Super Bowl for the world. It's like it's that big, it's that important on a global scale. And so, yeah, and are you doing the tailgates for the Atlanta region?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay.
Because the lot that we have, the owners personally contacted us. They wanted to pretty much rent out us. They want to rent Tailgate Party Committee, the our experience is what we do, and pretty much showcase it to the soccer world. So we have prime real estate around the stadium. Of course, you have your clean zones where you can't do but so much
Yep.
branding because of the FIFA. They made us change our logo on the Mercedes-Benz Stadium.
Oh yeah,
Had to,
no,
had to
that's
cover
not
all that
just
stuff
it's
up. Yeah,
all
yeah. So
stadiums. All
all of
stadiums
them.
don't have
Yeah.
branding
So
with them.
so there's only a certain amount of certain areas you can go where you can pretty much brand if you're not a partner of all the previous brands they have. Like it's Coca-Cola, if it's Verizon or something like that. If you're not part of none of those brands, you can't really just show up and just with a Pepsi tent in a banner, and stand outside Mercedes-Benz because they're partnered with Coke and they don't like that. So
I get it. It's all about the money at the
even
end
though
of
we're
the
on
day.
private property, it's still, you don't want FIFA to come over and say, hey, you guys authorized to do this. And then they're going to bring out their little receipts and checkbooks and balances and, shut us down. So we trail that thin line where we're doing what we're supposed to do, but we don't want to cross over until get shut down. So
That's totally fair, and like I said, I have never tailgated for a soccer game before,
me neither.
but that would be one that I would at least be
Yeah.
interested in to see, like, how the world tailgates. Because again, you're gonna have people from
Hmm.
all over the world coming to some of this stuff.
Yeah, and going off my resume, I've done a lot of firsts.
There you go, it's another one.
So there's another one. Yeah, man.
Another one.
Another one. I'm excited about it, and I hope it's a good turnout. But we're gonna see.
We shall. We shall. Well, tell me this, Lee. Where can people find you online? Give us your socials out there so people can come check out some of the stuff you're doing and some of those dance moves and Mad Dog 2020 margaritas.
Yeah, everything is Tailgate Party Committee. Everything: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, hell, MySpace. Everything is
MySpace
Tailgate
still out
Party.
there? Is that still a thing? Or
Yeah, yeah, man. I guess what's his name? Tom's still out there somewhere. Yeah, so everything is
okay,
Tailgate Party Committee, for various reasons. Of course, the algorithm picks it up and do all their little internet things. So, analytics does this thing. So, of course, I made it that way for a reason. Oh, I forgot to mention, I've created what I call is called tailgate anthems, right?
oh yeah,
So, we have our classic playlist that we're gonna play at your local function. If you're on the West Coast, you're playing your West Coast bangers. If you're on the East Coast, if you're down South, you're in the Midwest,
hmm,
you're playing your local bangers, right?
sure,
Of course, you're playing your national songs as well that everybody knows. You're playing all your classics. If it's hip hop, if it's pop, R&B, rock, whatever it is, you're gonna play all the classics that everybody know. What I've done was, um, I studied music for a while, DJing all these tailgates, knowing what people like, hearing the songs, just going off of people asking me to play certain songs I never heard before. Like, can you play the whatever? Like, what is that? It's songs you never heard that they play at their stadiums at their tailgates. I'm just like, oh, this is kind of dope. Okay, I can get with this. I want to probably play it again, but I
right,
like it for you guys as fan base. It's cool. So I create what we call tailgate anthems. Right, tailgate anthem is basically a bunch of songs that are more like a chant, call and response type of songs, where if your team is winning, these are the songs for you.
okay.
But on the flip side, if your team is losing but is coming back, these are the songs for you,
The
right?
rally songs.
Man, so I created a plethora of these songs, man. I got every genre. I got a country song, I got EDM song, got pop song, got hip hop song. I got some chants and some songs I'm gonna send to you guys that I think is gonna be pretty dope once the world gets to it. And you hear them in the stadium. That's why I know I made it. Once these songs are played inside the stadium, because you hear the same stuff every game. Everybody's playing the same. We ready, we ready. Yeah, it came from Atlanta. We made that song 20 years ago. I'm tired of hearing it. Me personally, swag and surf. I'm really tired of hearing it. It's all good and fun stuff, but why not have something? It's too many musicians out here to just have the same stuff we're playing, listening to every Saturday and Sunday. Create something different. So I took it upon myself to create tailgate anthems, where the music is the courtesy of AI, of course. I can't just say I've did it myself. I gotta
Yeah.
put that in there. Courtesy of AI, they helped me out a little bit. Some of the songwriting, but the sound quality of it doesn't sound like AI. I mean, I'm gonna send you guys a song. It's called "Let Them Know."
Okay.
Let them know. That's a good one. I don't want to spoil it for myself or for everybody, but I'm gonna send you a little snippet, and then you
Okay.
just give me your honest opinion on what you think. But I even got a World Cup song. It's called "World Tailgate." Yeah.
Okay.
It
I'm
it
I'm
gives
already with it. I'm already with it.
yeah, like I said, I know nothing about soccer, but it's definitely a World Cup. It's a little anthem, it got the little, the little. I'm not gonna say Islander sound because World Cup is everybody,
Sure.
but if you were to think of a worldwide song, what would be the instruments in it?
The first thing that comes to my mind is a guitar, but I don't know if that's the right answer or not.
You
That's
know.
right off the top.
So it got a lot of different sounds in it, man. So it's yeah, I even got a Latin tailgate song too. I mean, even though the words are in English, but the song itself, it sounds like it belongs directly in the Latin community. Like it's a banger too, man. It's a lot of pop songs I have. I got a lot of favorite pop artists that I like. Um, I got a lot of favorite EDM artists that I like, and I kind of inspired those songs by them. So, you know, I love the Chainsmokers. I love my boy Calvin Harris. I love a lot of those songs. I was a beach bum for a long time in Florida, man. So just sitting on the beach every day, just listening to all kind of music, I can dig it. You know.
Nice. Well, yeah, you'll have to let us know about that World Tailgate song. Get it over so we could take
Yeah,
a listen here soon to get
yeah,
that played.
definitely. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna see what I have already made out, and I'm gonna put it on my local distributors, whether that iTunes, Google Play, all those different Spotify. So
Cool.
yeah,
Excellent. Excellent. All right. Well, again, this was Lee with Tailgate Party Committee. He is throwing epic tailgates across the
yeah,
nation, and he loves to do things for the first time to put on his resume. So
yeah.
if he hadn't done it, he might be doing it in the
He
near
might be.
future of
Yeah,
something
he do.
amazing. I know I need to get out to one of his tailgates. I hope everybody
Oh
that
yeah,
listened to the whole episode is getting on tailgateconnect.com to go ahead and get some of those tickets for the events to see how Lee does it. He's giving away prizes. He's
yeah,
tailgating through the game. He's out there kissing babies, making his own music, all kinds of fun stuff.
yeah,
Entering
man.
Mad Dog 2020 margaritas. There you go.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Lee, appreciate you being on here.
Appreciate
Everybody
you
at
guys.
home, tailgateconnect.com for all of those easy button tailgate needs. And we hope to see you at a tailgate soon. Have a good night.
Tailgate Connect, it's all here for you. Food, drink, and friends under skies so blue.